Welcome to the Death Taco Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, and today I'm joined by Esai of the No Solutions Podcast. And today we're here to talk about a 2014 American horror film directed by Kevin Smith called Tusk. So, you had no idea what this is?
No idea before I watched it.
Yeah. What made you pick it? Because I gave you a choice between a movie called The Final Girls and this one. Was it literally the picture, or did you look it up or something?
No, when I saw Tusk, the shadow on the picture you sent me made it look like a mammoth or something. So I was like, oh, maybe this is like prehistoric type of horror, you know? And then I watched it and I was completely thrown out of left field.
So did you look up a trailer, or did you
No.
read it? You just straight up turned the movie on and said, let's do this.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking glad you did that.
Yeah, I didn't want to look at it before.
That's awesome, bro. Fucking, no, for me, this was a Redbox movie, bro. I was, back in the day, 2015, 2014, probably 2014, right when it came out, because it came out straight to DVD, I think. And I probably just saw the motherfucker. And I'm a big Kevin Smith guy. Are you familiar with any of his movies?
Yeah, no.
He's do you know who Jay and Silent Bob are? Have you heard of that comedy duo?
Yeah, I don't know the song, but
Smoking weed,
yeah.
smoking. This guy, Kevin Smith, is Silent Bob.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he directs a lot of these movies like Clerks, Mallrats, Dogma. I don't even know what any of those are.
None.
They're older movies from like late 90s, early 2000s. And pretty much what to compare him to, bro, like you've seen the Avengers movies, right?
Yeah.
Though there's this guy named Joss Whedon.
Yeah, I know.
He's
the one who did just the first Justice League, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but the best way to compare that to, so you know, like the way Iron Man talks.
Yeah.
They say that all the Avengers sound like Iron Man pretty much. They're all copies of him in terms of their banter.
Yeah.
Witty
like
dialogue and shit.
Sarcastic a little bit.
Yeah. So that's pretty much Joss Whedon's style of writing. And that's more or less what Kevin Smith does. Like, I don't know if you noticed in this movie, the dialogue's really quick, really fucking storytelling, really fucking detailed shit, and like really witty humor.
Yeah.
That's more or less what every single Kevin Smith movie is.
And I feel like I forgot his name. What is it, Justin Long or something like that?
Justin Long.
He's perfect for that type of dialect, you know?
Yeah. He just fit that part. It was just very natural to him.
Yeah.
And who else was in this? That old guy. What the fuck is his name?
The one who I recognized right off the bat was the one from Sixth Sense.
Oh, Haley Joel Osment.
Osment, yeah.
He was in AI, Artificial Intelligence. You ever seen that movie?
I have not.
Bro, that movie's a banger.
Really?
Yeah. The guy's name is Michael Parks.
The old guy?
Yeah, the old man. He was in something. He was in a Quentin Tarantino movie. He does a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies. He plays like the sheriff and shit in a lot of his universe.
Yeah, he looked super familiar, but I couldn't like put him to a different movie.
Yeah. But now for me, like Kevin Smith, he's like one of my favorite directors. I don't know why. The guy, like, he's up there with me with like Tarantino and Eli Roth and shit.
Like that good?
Yeah. So like anything that guy makes, I feel like I'm obligated to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, that's just for me personally. I don't know. You might watch it and be like, what the fuck
like,
is this?
I'm kind of like that with like Tarantino or what's his name who did the fucking Wolf of Wall Street?
Scorsese?
Scorsese, yeah. I like all those movies, you know?
So it's good to have like a guy.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, so pretty much like the plot of this movie, I feel like just because of the fucking DVD cover, I mean, it's about a guy who wants to turn another guy into a walrus.
Which is 100% had no idea that was coming. And when the idea got floated out there in the movie, I was kind of like, wait, what? Like, you know, what's going on? So
yeah, this is literally, bro. So Kevin Smith had a podcast back then, right? 2013, 2012. I don't know when. I think it was called like Smodcast or Schmoshcast or whatever. And he has like the episode is like on YouTube. You can find it. This literally started out as a bit. Him and his boy are talking shit. There's a movie called The Human Centipede. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, of course.
Where a guy wants to make a chain of people.
Yeah.
So the guys, they're literally on this podcast bullshit out of nowhere. He's like, what if there was a guy who wanted to like Human Centipede a motherfucker, but with a walrus. And that's literally how the idea of the movie started.
Off a joke?
Off a joke from a podcast they did.
That's fucking wild.
I know, and pretty much just from like the people's response to it, he was like, evidently I got to make this movie.
Yeah.
Which I think that's funny because that's a lot what we do, man. We just kind of just throw out fucking dumbass ideas.
Yeah, crazy ideas.
And you never know, bro. It could be the next fucking Tusk.
One could hit. One could hit.
Right. But because of that, he started something called, this is part of something called the True North trilogy that he's doing. This is just part 1.
True North as in Canada?
Yeah, as in Canada. So all the movies are set in Canada and they're horror films.
Okay.
And the second one is called Yoga Hosers, which is, it's okay.
Hosers.
They're all on, I think that one's on Netflix. I don't know if it still was, because Tusk was on Netflix for a long fucking time.
I wish it still was. I paid for that. No, it's cool. What did you think of, well, I guess you've seen it before, right? Tusk?
Yeah.
Before the, so I thought it was pretty cool that I randomly picked it, and we could relate pretty well because they were doing a podcast in the movie, you know?
That's what I thought of when you picked it. I was like, okay, that'll be kind of cool to like mirror to what we do.
Yeah. So it was more relatable for us, but they I'm pretty sure they hinted at it. They're like one of the big podcasts in the United States, you know? Like they're making hella money off of it. So when I don't want to give too much away, but when he said he was going to go up north to interview some people, that kind of puts it into perspective of like, we don't do that shit. We're not going to drive to Canada to go interview someone.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, that was kind of like their shtick is for their podcast specifically, he travels. Okay. So, I mean, to be fair.
Yeah.
But nah, so like I said, it's part of this trilogy called True North. And the last one he's making that hasn't come out yet that I'm excited for, it's another like off the wall fucking concept. I think he's going to call it Moose Jaws. It's Jaws, but with a moose in Canada.
Like Jaws, like the movie?
Like the shark.
Like the shark? Yeah.
So I think it's going to be people like trapped in a cabin with the fucking moose out in the middle of the fucking...
like a killer moose?
Like a killer moose.
I'm trying to put that in my head. I can't picture it.
Well, I mean, just think about a moose, bro.
Because like a moose, yeah, but a moose, if they were to kill someone, it's going to, just mutilate them with their antlers.
Probably, or trample them.
Or trample them, yeah. Mooses are pretty fucking big, aren't they?
Bro, mooses are like mooses. We gotta stop calling them
They're
moose.
bigger than horses, right?
They're bigger than horses.
Yeah.
And horses are pretty fucking big also,
yeah, as is, yeah.
And they got giant fucking antlers, dog, that are like, I don't know how big, but it looks massive. We don't have those around here, so I'm thankful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But, no, so... You never heard of it, the whole concept of it. Have you seen the Human Centipede?
I've seen like parts and pieces of it. There was this one dude in our high school that during class he would just watch it out loud, no headphones.
That serial killer shit. Continue.
Right? No, but he was a cool dude. He was like on the basketball team with us, but he was just like a goofball. And like he would literally just open his laptop, put the volume about halfway, and then you would just hear like just fucking screams and shit. And the teacher would be like, "Turn off your computer," and he'd be like, "Okay, okay," and he'd plug in his headphones real quick, and we'll keep watching it. So I would watch behind him. I'd be watching like parts of it, and I was like, "Jesus Christ! Like what do you watch? Oh my God!"
And how old?
This is in high school, so like. It was still disturbing stuff.
Like early high school or late high school?
Middle. Yeah.
That's fucking weird, bro.
Right? Yeah. No, so.
Oh, man. That's big dick energy.
Of course, I got, curious about that movie, so I went and actually tried to watch it, but it's just too graphic in a bad way,
I feel like that kind of horror, bro, it's shock horror. It's purely like an endurance test of what you can withstand.
Yeah.
And some of those are cool for me. Some of them are too much. I mean, I watch them. I'm a horror movie guy. I do a fucking horror movie podcast. So I almost feel obligated to watch everything. but there's some stuff out there, bro, that's just over the top. I don't feel like that's over the top. But
That's pretty fucking over the top, though.
There's other stuff out there, bro, that's just
okay, this movie we were talking about right now, that was pretty over the top as well. But
it's definitely not like something you go watch with like your mom.
Or children.
Or kids.
Yeah. Like, they could, but they might be a little traumatized after that, you know?
Just a wee bit.
Definitely a little bit of nightmares, yeah.
Yeah. So, I feel like we've done it justice talking this movie up. So, I think we're going to go ahead and get into the spoiler territory, get into the meat of this motherfucker.
Yep.
So, if you haven't seen it, guys, I recommend you going to check out Tusk by Kevin Smith, 2014. If not, though, go ahead and come back and listen to us fuck up this movie. So, what'd you think?
So, I'm not a movie buff per se, but I do like judging movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I would give this probably like a solid. Are we doing popcorn bags or what are we doing?
We're doing inches, friends.
Oh yeah, inches.
1 to 6.
Yeah. So I would give it a solid 3.
Okay, so you didn't hate it, but you didn't love it.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. You know, like
Yeah,
it was definitely different, which I like appreciate, but it wasn't like I'm not gonna go back and watch it again. Put it that way.
Yeah. For me, I could probably go 4 because, like I said, that's mostly a bias because I fuck with Kevin Smith, and the only thing that was this movie's heavy in dialogue. I feel. Like a lot of talking.
Yeah.
A fuck ton of talking. Some parts are too much. And that would be the one critique I have of it. Like, yeah, some of it's, it's all interesting. Some of it's witty and funny banter and shit, but there are some stretches that just go on just a wee bit too long.
Yeah. Like, there's little details of certain conversations that is, like, not important to us as a viewer.
Yeah, like there's 2 parts in particular like that. These are just a few knocks that I have. There's not a lot that I don't like about this movie, but these are some of them. And when Justin Long's character first gets to the mansion of the crazy guy, and they're sitting talking about just random stuff, that scene goes on for about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
there could have been a little bit of fat trimmed on that, I feel. And also, when Johnny Depp's in this movie.
Dude, I was gonna ask you that. The guy you could tell was Johnny Depp, but they did a good job. He's good. He's master of disguise. You know? So
what the fuck was his name in this? Was it Guy Lapointe?
Yeah.
The part where he's talking to Haley Joel Osment and Justin Long's girl in that restaurant.
Yeah.
I've timed it, bro. That's like a 20-minute fucking monologue.
Was it? Yeah. That was one thing I didn't like about the movie. I didn't like the jump scenes when it would be like the day before, So like they'd be
jumping back and forth in time.
They'd be in current time in the movie, and then they'd be talking about stuff, and then it would just jump to a scene from the day before that present day. I
think they only did that for Justin Long's like dreams and shit.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. Because it would be like him thinking about something, and then he'd wake up and be in some terrible situation.
Okay. That's what I don't think they did a good job with making it clear that was his dreams.
So it just kind of seemed like it was random cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could feel that. I'm not going to lie. There were some parts like, or with the girlfriend talking to Haley Joel Osment. Mm-hmm. Those were some random like monologues and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's kind of Kevin Smith's shtick. It's heavy monologues. Like, either deep or funny shit.
Yeah. Which the Osmond dude, he's freaking snake. He was a snake. I was like, that's Marco saw today. No.
Bro, that is terrible. I still feel like a type of way about that. Like, jumping in and just snaking your fucking boy's lady.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
In the movie, she didn't seem too interested in him. She was more like a therapist type dude for her. Friend zone for sure.
Felt like it.
Yeah.
I think he was hitting, though.
I don't think so.
You don't think he was hitting?
No. You know what gave that away? You know what gave that away? The next day, after they shared the bed, he was sleeping at the feet. You didn't notice that?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, so his head was at the feet of the bed. And hers was, regular.
Maybe they just fell asleep during 69.
No, that wasn't the case. You could tell, dude. You could tell. And she seemed like she was the faithful one, Obviously, we learned that the Justin Long character wasn't. He was kind of a dirtbag.
Yeah, so that's a big thing. Is Justin Long the main character? Wallace Bretton. Did you catch? Did you catch that his name is Wallace?
Right?
And they turned him
Yeah,
into
I
a
was
walrus?
like, wow, that was clever, but not too clever, you know. Like in the beginning, with me not knowing anything about the movie, I didn't put two and two together. But by the end of the movie, you know,
Yeah. So I'm not gonna do scene by scene, but we should start with the fucking intro, bro, where they're watching like a YouTube video about the guy's name is the video's called the Kill Bill Kid.
Yep.
And it's where a kid chops his own fucking leg off with a samurai sword, pretty much trying to do a TikTok before TikTok was a thing. Glorious.
Yeah, he was trying to go viral.
CGI was terrible on it, but.
And you know, I honestly didn't even realize that he had chopped his leg off himself. I thought he was already one-legged.
Nah, dude, he was fucking with that sword and he cut his leg off.
Jeez.
And then their podcast is called the Nazi Podcast.
Yeah. that was a good little twist because that, you know, set up a couple jokes later on.
That was clever. I like that.
Yeah, but it was spelled N-O-T.
SEE.
Yeah.
Because, like we were talking about earlier, it's a traveling podcast pretty much where he goes on these adventures and then he talks about it on the podcast with his friend.
What made it fucked up, though, is they had party in their name, too, right? So it was the Nazi Party Podcast or something like that, which is, you know.
Was it the Nazi Party? I think it was.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Because he would even say, like, in the fucking German accent, like, join the Nazi Party.
Yeah. Which is it's pretty fucked up for a podcast in America, but whatever.
Bro, Justin Long is the man, dude. Like, have you seen Zach and Miri make a porno?
No. Is that the one with...
It's got Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, yeah.
Yeah. He's in that one, bro, and he's got this role as a fucking gay dude. It's fucking incredible.
Oh, I've seen that. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So just the dude's fucking range, man, is incredible.
Yeah, he was the one selling the toys, right?
No, he's the gay porn star.
I know, but didn't he have like one of those passion parties with the woman?
I don't think so.
I've seen that movie a different movie?
Ton. I'm pretty sure it's a different one.
Because he played like a gay dude with long hair and a soul patch in another movie where he is like, you know, the gay dude that was like a passion party. He was throwing a passion party for all the females and the guy showed up. I haven't
seen that one.
I don't know.
What the fuck is that from?
I forgot. I thought it was that movie because I could have swore it was Seth Rogen.
Nah, in this one he has like the deep voice and he's like clean cut and he's got like a slick back and shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no, so in terms of this one it's a slow movie, bro. That's why I've been trying to do this for a long time, but I keep putting it off because I know it's not a fucking, you know, splatter fest. Like, I mean, it is on parts.
Yeah.
But really, when you think about it, it's a pretty slow movie. It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
Very dialogue heavy, a lot of shit to unpack in it. But when it does fucking, the shock moments in this, I feel are really fucking well done.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, because Justin Long, he goes to Canada to go fucking talk to he goes to initially to talk to this guy from the Kill Bill Kid video.
The one-legged Kill Bill, yeah.
Yeah, but after he finds out that kid murks himself, and he's very upset about it, and we're very, like, aware that Wallace is an asshole.
Yeah, that definitely shows you his character because he was more concerned about him not having anybody podcast material, rather than this kid just killed himself, you know. So
and that they were probably a factor in him killing himself because they're the ones who fucking pushed the video.
I was thinking about that. Like, did he watch the podcast where they were making fun of him?
Well, they're the ones who made the video go viral because they found it.
Oh,
or they're the ones who pushed it.
Oh shit, yeah. So it probably was their fault.
Yeah, but he didn't. So he didn't take any responsibility for it, at least, you know, in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And when he doesn't find the kid, he's at a bar. He sees a letter from some old dude to go fucking, you know, tell stories.
Yeah, it pretty much was saying that he's an old dude who explored the world pretty much, or has had a bunch of different adventures, and he has a lot of stories to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so Justin Long makes a decision to drive out to bumfuck nowhere to this dude's mansion.
Just to get some fucking something for his podcast to take home.
Yeah, and
which I feel for him.
I mean, knowing what we know now, it's obvious to be like, yo, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
but let's be honest. Who would have thunk that it would go where it goes?
Yeah. Not at all.
Like, the worst that could happen is I think, like, this dude's going to try to, like, rub my leg while we're talking or some shit, you know?
Or just straight up just kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least maybe just fucking shoot you.
Yeah.
Not, fucking
Mutilate.
cut off your legs and shit.
Oh, my God.
And, but yeah, so this dude drugs him with tea, knocks his ass out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the first, like, oh, fuck moment I remember is when he wakes up after he's told him, like, you got bit by a spider.
Yeah.
And, this whole movie's really lighthearted, right? It's real goofy, really silly. And even this part's really silly, and up until the point where he tells him, like, why can't I feel my legs? He pulls the blanket off. One of his fucking legs is missing. And that's kind of the point where the whole tone of the movie changes.
Yeah, but the irony of that, they were making fun of this kid who chopped off his leg.
Oh, you're right.
And then, bam, he got hit with the same shit. Yeah, so I bet that was going through his head a little bit, too, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So... yeah.
Nah, dude, I remember that was like a terrifying moment for me when he realized his leg was gone.
Yeah.
Like, it was definitely like, you could feel like, what would you do in that situation?
I would have never went, first of all. But if I did, and that shit happened, the shitty part about it was when he pulled that cover off and he saw his leg, his body was still kind of paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't do shit about it. He could just stare at it and scream.
Yeah, that old man had a game planned out perfect.
Yeah.
To where, like, he said, because he even says later on, like, I'm immobilized.
Yeah.
All he could do was move his he could just talk, right?
Yeah.
And that's always terrifying to me, bro. Imagine, like, because we're both pretty much bigger than most people, I feel, or at least taller.
Mm-hmm.
And the one way you could get fucked, bro, is if somebody just, like, puts a shot in you, dog, and you're fucking numb.
Man. Yeah. It's one of those things that, like, one of the worst, that's, like, could be one of our worst fears, but you never think about it,
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody thinks about, oh, I could drown. Oh, I could fall off a ledge and whatever. No one ever thinks someone could paralyze me from, like, the neck down,
And just torture you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's up there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But before that even, like, so... the first time when Justin Long meets this old dude, Howard Howe, who's played by Michael Parks, this is kind of when we get a good idea of, like, the monologues we're going to be hearing. Because this dude, Michael Parks, beast of a fucking storyteller, dog.
Yeah, for sure.
I personally, one of my favorite parts is when he's given the story about how he got lost at sea and he's with the walrus.
Yeah.
Like, that could easily be, like, really boring, but I feel like just the way the dialogue was written and the way he filmed the flashback, I was, like, really drawn into that shit.
Yeah.
Like, because this character talks about being, like, lost at sea. He washes up on a fucking glacier.
Yeah.
He gets saved by a walrus.
And how he described the walrus as, like, a gentle, kind, like, he said almost a nurturing creature.
Mm-hmm.
He said looked at him like if he was, like, a baby chick or something.
Yeah, and even before that, when... he's initially in the water. He talks about they were looking for a fucking giant great white shark. And when he gets lost in the water, he's like, feels shit going by his legs. And he's all thinking, I hope it's eating my friends instead of me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just well done. Like, that's probably like my favorite part of the movie, actually. Just that whole little stick right there.
Yeah.
Because it could easily be really boring to tell a story if it's not well done.
Mm-hmm.
At least, like, from that perspective, because we're just watching the dude talk.
But he was like the white Morgan Freeman with storytelling on that.
Pretty much, man. The guy was just a savage, bro.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, so that whole part was, like you said, Justin Long plays the part perfectly because he's, like, just being goofy as shit the entire time he's telling this story. Like, the dude's got a giant fucking walrus dick hanging on his wall.
Yeah, that was a weird part, too. It was, that's what kind of foreshadowed, like, how did he get that, Like, did he fucking take that himself from the walrus,
Right. Well, nah, dude, I'm sure you can find that motherfucker in, like, a
museum
or something. You can snatch it up.
I don't know. Who just fucking keeps walrus dick?
We don't know what they do in Canada, bro.
Yeah, in Canada.
But,
sorry.
So, it's around this part, like we were talking about, where you find out that fucking Wallace's boy, bro, is having a thing with this girl. And you don't think they were banging, but I'm pretty confident, bro, he was tapping.
Yeah.
Because she's she knows he's cheating on her. Because that's what we learned is Wallace is fucking... Dude's just getting it from his fans all over the place.
Yeah. But I still don't think that I feel like she was trying to be a bigger person. You know, like she would spill her guts out to Wallace's friend. But I don't think she ever put it out.
I think she was giving her guts up to Wallace's friend.
No, I don't think her character seemed like she wasn't gonna stoop down, you know?
Remember the part where she tells him, like, brush your teeth before you come to bed?
Yeah, so that's what threw me. That's when I was like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. But then, next day, they woke up and he was sleeping at the foot of the bed. Like, if she was like, yeah, you can put your head that way, feet this way, you know, like...
Like, fucking pillow down the middle or some shit?
Right? Like, I mean, if you were to sleep with a woman and she tells you got to sleep at the foot of the bed, well, are you going to just sleep at the foot of the bed? Or are you going to be like, I'm just going to sleep regular? Like, you know?
I sleep at the foot of the bed.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Why?
I get comfortable that way, bro. I got a king-size bed, man. It's a weird shape.
Yeah, okay.
I have space to do that, man. My bad.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I just feel like that's weird. Like, why not just sleep up top? You know?
I never sleep, like, towards the top, though.
See, but do you, like, ever kick your girl in the face and stuff when you're turning?
No.
I feel like that'd be a problem. Well, I'm like a...
You're a tosser?
I'm a tosser and turner, you know?
Nah, dude, I'm like a rock. Whenever I'm out, I'm just stuck.
Oh, okay.
I just sink into the bed and shit.
Yeah.
But no. So, yeah, so I mean...
So maybe he did.
But I'm not going to lie. There isn't any, like, actual chemistry between Haley Joel Osment and Justin Long's woman.
Yeah.
Which does kind of give the impression that possibly, you know, they are just friends. But I think it's heavily implied he is smashing.
Yeah. But, like, in the one of the cutscenes back from after he got drugged, it shows him and the Osmond dude talking during the podcast or after the podcast.
Yeah.
And he was all like, yeah, I'm taking your girl to the museum because you don't fucking want to do it, something like that, you know? And he was like, thank God, I don't want to do that shit, you know? So, like, I feel like it was pretty clear to the fucking Justin Long character that nothing was going on. That's kind of another thing that put me in that.
I would think, and like I said, I think the movie does a bad job of like showing the two of them actually being romantic, because pretty much like as soon as they find out that something's up with Wallace, they go on this adventure to go find him, and during that entire stretch, there's no indication that these two are banging.
Yeah,
like they don't hold hands, they don't really like kiss, they don't.
Now after the movie, I guarantee something was going on.
It took that long for you to think this dude was fucking.
Yeah, no, we'll get to that soon. But
all right, so now there's pretty much, like I said, the movie. I feel like it starts out really strong.
Yeah.
Up until when Wallace, because before that even, after Wallace realizes his leg is cut, the scene where he's having dinner with the old man.
Yeah.
And that's the part where he's like realized he's paralyzed and shit.
And that the old man is batshit crazy.
Because he does the itsy bitsy spider fucking thing, dude.
Yeah.
Man.
Because he told him that he had
he got bit by a brown recluse.
Yeah. And that's why he passed out.
And that's why he had to get his leg cut off.
Yeah, because they said the venom went down his spine all the way to and swelled up his ankle.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah.
The excuses he was giving him about why he can't go to the hospital.
Yeah, and then he was like, "We had to get rid of all the phones in the house."
And the doctor's making its rounds. Yeah. And the dude's like, "What the fuck do you mean? Who else is he going to see?"
He's like, "Take me to the fucking hospital." Yeah.
Could you tell that the main guy, the guy Michael Parks, was trying to fucking like hide his laugh while he was telling him that shit?
Yeah.
Man, bro, that was so scary, bro. That guy plays such a good fucking nut.
Yeah,
like it's believable. Like, oh, this dude's really got some problems.
It's fucking wacko, like terrible,
and it's terrifying.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I remember every time I watch this movie, I'm endlessly annoyed by his character. Like, I hate him, bro. It's like on that Game of Thrones fucking Joffrey shit, bro. Like it's just
you're gonna hate me
every time he's on screen, bro. I can't stand him.
I tried watching Game of Thrones, the very first episode.
Podcast just ending right now.
I couldn't do it, dude. I couldn't. It was just boring as hell to me.
I mean, do you like that fantasy, like medieval shit?
See,
though?
I have a good imagination, so I could like it. Like, I liked all the fucking like
Lord of the Rings. Or what are you talking about? What are you about to say?
I was gonna. Nah, I feel stupid. I was gonna say Harry Potter. Like those are like different, you know, than the normal movies. You know,
Yeah.
I guess you can say. So I don't know. Maybe I just didn't gravitate towards. I like fucking Narnia. You know, and that's probably the most closest thing to.
I like how you keep naming off all these young adult stories.
Right.
The Hunger Games
And
was
then-
fire, bro.
And then Game of Thrones is all this fucking medieval, pretty. What's the word to use? Like, it's more adult, I guess.
It's definitely, yeah.
Like Narnia doesn't have 24 sex scenes in the first episode, you know, or first movie, you know.
No,
And fucking Game of Thrones, that threw me off. I was like, damn. I was like, they be fucking in here.
my pitch for Game of Thrones is always you gotta hold out for the main overarching story of ice zombies versus dragons. I mean,
Okay.
so that's where it's gonna get. But I mean, it is a slow burning show,
Is it? Oh.
like a motherfucker.
So maybe I should, you know,
but
give it a chance.
what was my point? Oh, the old man.
Yeah.
So in terms of villains, bro, it's just it kind of turns into a chore after a while of seeing this dude just be evil.
It's a rich dude that has nothing better to do, you know?
I don't even know if he's rich, bro. He might just be a con man.
You think he just stole that house?
Because remember later on in the Johnny Depp scenes, whenever because Wallace manages to snatch up a phone. And he calls Haley Joel Osment and his girl, so they go on this quest to figure out where the fuck he is.
Yeah.
Which seems like a stretch.
Yeah, for sure.
But so they do it. They go to Canada and they meet up with this detective, Johnny Depp.
He looked like a fucking psycho himself. Did you notice that he had one wandering eye the whole time he was talking? I was like, that was pretty cool how they did that. But
yeah, bro, and like you said, master of fucking disguise.
Yeah.
And he tells this story where he thinks he almost caught the guy, and he actually does.
yeah,
And he runs into the main guy, Howard Howe, and he's completely changed his fucking personality.
yeah,
it's
he
a
was
whole
like
nother
a
dude.
fucking panhandle almost. You know?
Yeah, he was pretty much. He was like he had some type of mental. He was like mentally challenged, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And but yeah, just that whole little stick he was doing. And
I think he had told Johnny Depp's character, the detective, that his name was like Bartholomew or something like that. Yeah, and then the Johnny Depp detective character, he had looked it up or whatever, his name, and he couldn't find it anywhere in all of Canada's records or whatever.
yeah, so that's why he assumed that was the dude he was looking for.
Yeah.
Nah, but on the subject of that, bro, that whole part where Johnny Depp is talking, like at least at the beginning when Howard was telling his story, there was like breaks for the walrus scene and stuff. But when Johnny Depp is talking, bro, I swear to God, his scene was 20 minutes of just straight them sitting at this table and him talking.
In a little diner.
And I mean, yeah, there was that one cut scene of him going to that cabin to find Howard when he was like pretending to be somebody else. But it just felt long to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, there's definitely, I feel like after that scene where Wallace gets caught talking on the phone to Haley Joel Osment, from there on, it definitely felt a lot slower to me. I don't know if you felt that your first like run through.
It was definitely slow, but I feel like they did a pretty good job working up to the, you know, that final scene of
So you were still
the
like
walruses.
you were
I
in
guess you
tune.
could say. Yeah, I was still there, you know. I didn't sway, just get on my phone or nothing during those scenes. I didn't get too bored, put it that way.
Yeah. So it's around this part, like you were just saying, that like we get our first glimpse of the walrus suit.
Yeah. Which I was pretty fucking confused about that. So to premise what we're talking about a little bit, how we said that the old guy was fucking gonna turn Justin Long into a damn walrus. He completely mutilated him, fucking sewed his arms to his body in the shape of like what walrus fins are, like up here.
Yeah.
But the one part that I didn't understand was, what did he use to fill in the rest of the suit?
What do you mean?
Because, like, Justin Long, he's
a skinny guy.
He's a skinny guy, and when they showed the walrus, it was like a fucking blubber-filled walrus.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's one thing that I was a little confused about. Like, what the fuck? What is this?
Of it?
Yeah. And then also, he used fucking faces from other people.
Part of the skin.
As part of the skin for the walrus.
It's a walrus suit completely made of human flesh.
Yeah. And if you guys are going to watch it, it's one of the most disturbing shit to look at. Like, I was, like, kind of just sitting there with what the fuck is going on right now, you know?
And did you catch that the tusks that were on the face were his actual leg bones?
I did not.
So he turned that's why he cut his fucking legs off. He turned his leg bones into the tusks.
That's fucking wild. I thought those were actual tusks.
I thought so too, but I was reading up on it. That's what that is.
That's fucking wild. That puts a lot of shit into perspective, though, because, like, I was wondering why they get rid of the legs instead of just sewing them bitches together, you know?
Fucking disturbing, bro.
Super.
And he probably did something to his vocal cords. That's why he doesn't talk.
They said he cut his tongue out. Yeah. So he was just fucking screaming, and that was disturbing, too. Because it was fucking creepy how the old guy was like, you're going to be a walrus? You have to act like a walrus, you know? Walruses don't fucking cry or whatever, you know? Like, it's fucking just weird.
Oh, man. It's just so fucking creepy, bro. Every time. Anything the old man did was just fucking disturbing, dog.
Yeah. But he gave us some context when he told us his upbringing.
He had a fucked up childhood.
Yeah. Like, it's weird because I feel like he touched on some, like, Epstein type shit, if you pay attention. And, like, he was saying how, like, he pretty much got passed around when he was a kid to a bunch of rich people.
Yep.
And
because he said he was at an orphanage that got turned into a mental asylum, and they didn't take the kids out. They just blended all the shit together.
Yeah.
And then from there, he got
money purposes.
Passed around.
Yeah, which is pretty fucked up. But that's when he said he had escaped to sea pretty much on a boat. And that's when he was fucking working as a
cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, he was probably fucking.
So they try to humanize him a little bit with that backstory. Doesn't work.
No, not at all.
There's no excuse for it, bro. Like, yeah, that's fucked up, but, like, I'm sure there was a lot of people that had similar experiences who didn't go on a rampage of just turning people into animals, you know?
Isn't that crazy that shit actually happens to, like, children? Like, people, like, fucking rich people fucking just pass around kids, pretty much.
Yeah, man, that's probably still a fucking thing, bro.
Yeah. It's crazy. I was reading up on it a little bit, the Ghislaine Maxwell case. They said they found, like, they have, like, 30 million pages of evidence that she had, and nothing's gone, like, public about with any of that shit.
Imagine, like, all the fucking high profile names, like, involved in that shit that, like, just probably aren't going to come to light. How many people's names are getting scrubbed off lists?
See, and I had a weird theory that, because that shit came out right around the time coronavirus came out. And so I had a weird theory that a lot of people that were on those list of names, they all got put on house arrest. And to make it not so known to the public that they were on house arrest, they just put the whole world on house arrest. And said, you know, like, so it made it blend in, kind of.
But wasn't part of that theory supposed to be that they were all going to get, like, arrested, like, a pretty soon, like, after Corona started, and none of them got arrested?
Yeah. But, like, there was a couple of high-profile ones that were, like, on house arrest.
Didn't a lot of them flee to fucking Australia for some goofy-ass reason?
Yeah, it's a bunch of weird shit that happened with that. But let's get back to movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like you said, Howard's kind of going through, he's trying to train Wallace to be a walrus, and he's telling him his backstory. He's making him do walrus-like activity, like swimming and shit.
Yeah.
And so we end up learning that Howard fucking murked the fucking walrus that saved him.
Yeah. And which I thought he was fucking trying to like recreate his old friend, you know?
Yeah.
Like trying to bring him back.
So that's another twist, right? Is that low key he just wants to fight a walrus again, but
Yeah.
he feels like he cheated the other walrus or some shit, right?
I don't remember that, but it was just fucking that, like you said, a twist that you thought they were about to be best pals or something.
You thought he just wanted like a friend,
Yeah.
but no, he just wanted to fight another guy in a walrus suit.
Yeah, some real predator shit. I don't know.
It was kind of random.
Yeah.
And he puts on another fucking walrus suit. Bro, this dude murdered a lot of people, bro.
He had to. And if you seen the swimming scene when he threw him in the water, there was like 2 other walruses down at the bottom, human walruses.
So fucking scary, bro.
Yeah, and it was all deteriorated, and you just saw a human skull with fucking husk. Fuck,
Fucking
I was about
tusks.
to sneeze. No, I was about to sneeze.
Yeah.
Ugh. That's fucking. I hate that. Go ahead.
That was aggressive.
Well, because I was about to sneeze aggressive, and it just fucking went away.
Like, so it just looks like a twitch.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, but yeah, so he sees the other walrus bodies at the bottom of the fucking tank. And by the way, what kind of fucking mansion has just like this indoor fucking, what would you even call it? It was a pool,
Like an
but it was like a
aquarium.
whole, it was like metal doors and shit and like platforms.
Yeah. It seemed like it was made perfectly for a walrus. You know, like something you would see at a zoo.
You're right, like an aquarium.
Yeah.
Very random.
Very.
I guess he had to have had fucking money.
He
dude,
had
but
to have. Like, and like all the memorabilia shit on his walls and stuff, like, I feel like he probably was really that interesting guy that he said he was, but he was just a fucking wacko.
I just picture him murking people and taking over their lives.
Yeah.
Canada
Probably
must
what
have
he
some
does.
shitty detectives, bro. Because he had to have killed like dozens of motherfuckers.
Well, didn't you, when they talked to the actual police in Winnipeg, he was like, oh, Canada doesn't have any serial killers. And then he made a fucking dumbass joke. He was like, unless you count the potheads who steal all the Captain Crunch. Fucking Canada. Do you think people are really like that in Canada? Like, they talked about it in the beginning. They're like, I heard all Canadians are like super nice. He was like, no, don't get it confused. He's like, we're just optimistic.
Nah, dude, I'm pretty sure it's like anywhere. Like I think there's good people and bad people.
Yeah.
Like people who are like more friendly than others. Like it's probably like everywhere.
Well, like I've heard in France that they're all fucking assholes and nobody likes French people. So like I was like, maybe Canada, they really are all nice up there. You know?
If you've been fucked up as many times as France has historically, you'd be salty too.
Right? Yeah, they fucking probably hate Americans. Huh?
Probably. Why'd you take so long to jump in the fight? They're like the guy that got knocked out really early in the fight.
Yeah. Why didn't you jump in, bro?
Where were you, dog? But no. So yeah, so we get a scene of fucking Howard in his own walrus suit fighting Wallace.
Which is fucking weird as well.
It is.
He had a fucking human skin, blood dripping all over him. And it was weird because you could tell he was in the costume rather than Justin Long, who was actually sewed up.
Yeah.
So it's fucking strange.
And the climactic point of that fight is Howard like tears himself out of the suit.
Yeah.
And he's like, which I don't get, bro. What was the point of the suit to begin with? And he's like, but I am man, or some shit like that.
Yeah. He was like, I think he tore out after he heard the friends in the house. Because that was at the same time that the friends had broke the door down and were searching throughout the house trying to find him. Yeah.
I don't even know, dude. I think it was just because the fight had gotten to a stalemate.
Yeah.
And he was like,
they were like fucking just humping each other pretty much. Like, you're in a walrus suit. What are you going to do? You know?
right. And so what did he have, like a knife or something?
I don't think he had anything.
Because he was going to do something. Because there was some attack he was about to do before Wallace fucking just put his fucking tusk into his foot. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he could have probably grabbed one of the tusks that he had on his head.
And so after he puts the tusk in his foot, he falls on his back, and that's when Wallace just goes ham and fucking shivs
fucking
him.
jumped on him and just fucking
Boom, boom, boom.
prison
Starts
style
headbutting
shit.
him, bro.
Yeah.
And Yeah, that's how Howard dies.
Yeah, but that's when you also see like the fucking savage in Justin Long come out. You know, obviously anybody in that situation probably would be the same way because you just got fucking mutilated and made into a fucking walrus.
He's been making me eat raw fish.
Yeah, but he just went like savagery mode and just going stabbing him repeatedly with his tusk.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking wild.
That was a theory I read, is that the point of the movie was like to show that Wallace was a monster before he was a tusk, before he was a walrus.
Yeah.
And turning into a walrus actually
made him a monster.
No, made him fucking better.
Oh, like humbled him up a little bit?
Yes.
Okay.
Because so the friends bust in after this part.
Yeah.
And they're terrified of what they fucking see.
Fucking terrified.
And Wallace is completely gone. He's no longer Wallace. He's just a
walrus. Yeah.
He's just an insane walrus now, made of human flesh.
Fucking Wally the walrus.
And so at this point, Johnny Depp's character walks in with a shotgun, and it looks like he's about to blast him.
And it kind of looked like Justin Long was asking for that.
Do you think, would you have shot him?
Dude, that's one thing. As the walrus, if I was made into a walrus, when I went underwater, I would have drowned myself.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Wouldn't that be a fucking better way to go than to keep... I know we talked about on your podcast that we wouldn't drown, but I feel like that's one of those scenarios when I'm like, you know what? This isn't the worst way to go.
Right, I know. I just fucking got turned into a fucking human walrus. This isn't too bad, you know? But, yeah, when Johnny Depp walked in and pointed the gun at him, I thought he was going to just shoot. But then you could kind of hear the friends like, no. And like, what the fuck? What does he have to live for now? You know?
Right.
So.
And after that, we get an epilogue.
Yeah. It said 1 year later or something like that.
1 year later. Mm-hmm. And Wallace is now living in a shockingly small fucking enclosure.
Yeah, like at a zoo.
Bro, that motherfucker, I remember being bigger in my head. That motherfucker's about a bedroom size. Like a normal person's bedroom is where Wallace is staying.
Yeah.
And he's got a little pool. And he's in a teepee.
One thing I didn't understand was why did they put his big gulp in his enclosure still?
I think that's supposed to represent Wallace's humanity.
Oh.
Because it's in every scene apparently he's in.
Oh, okay.
Because at the start of the movie where he meets Howard, he has it. When he gets his leg cut off, he has it. While he's getting sewed up, the cup is near him.
During dinner, it was on the table.
When he's in the walrus suit, the cup is near him on the floor, like from to play with.
That's fucking weird.
So I think that's supposed to be like his attachment to like, you know, life before.
Yeah. But it's pretty fucked up that the friends thought, oh, he's better off living in a zoo than being dead.
Yeah, no.
Fuck that.
I don't even think a zoo... It has fucking people's faces on his skin.
Can I tell you, if someone ever makes me into a fucking walrus, you fucking shoot me square between the eyes, okay?
I got you, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And something else I wondered about, bro, is why couldn't he just get out of the suit?
He didn't have no legs or fucking hands. He
didn't have to be in the suit. Couldn't they just cut him out of the suit? I'm sure he would have looked fucked up, but I think they could have managed.
Yeah, I didn't. That's fucking weird to think about, too. Because he definitely had to have...
He was inside of a suit.
Yeah.
He's not fused to the goddamn suit. I mean, he is fused, but you could cut him out of it.
But could he live without all that?
Even if he was like all like crazy and shit and he was still acting like a walrus, wouldn't it make more sense to like have him in like a mental hospital?
See,
trying to get rehabbed?
Kill me. Dude, like that's one twist at the end of the movie that you're like, why? Like you saw Johnny Depp point the gun at him, getting ready to fucking end his shit.
Blast him.
Should have. They should have ended it with that. They should have let him die. They should have fucking buried him. They should have had a little funeral scene maybe, and all his fans show up. Like, that would have been a cool thing to do, but instead, he's a fucking walrus. Like, that's the most shitty thing in the world.
Something else I just thought of. So, like, he makes that phone call to his friends, and I'm assuming they get there in, like, 2 days or something, right? Yeah. And they're looking for him. So I'm assuming this all takes place over the course of, like, a week at the most, maybe.
Probably, yeah. Because when he had picked up the phone and called, I remember her saying that he hasn't called or texted for 3 days.
Yes.
So, yeah,
So
you're probably
maybe
right.
a
About a
week
week.
or two, maybe. I feel like that's really quick to like break the human psyche. I feel like it would have took a little bit longer.
I don't know, because you got to think he got to work right after he fucking knocked him out the first time with the tea.
So you think a week of being in a walrus suit, you'd lose all your humanity?
Dude, I would lose all my humanity after he chopped off my leg. Like, what the fuck am I here for? Just take, like, so I don't know. Different people have different lengths of, the will to keep going.
That's true.
So
you never know, man. I might, like you said, the second the motherfucker drugs me with something and takes one leg, that's probably it.
Right, yeah.
But at the end, there's a part where the girl's talking. What's the context of it? Where she's saying like the difference between people and animals is that we have souls. Are we the people who cry? Animals don't cry or some shit.
Which is weird because fucking crazy dude said that too in the middle of the movie. Mm-hmm. Walruses don't cry,
And then one of the last scenes is they show Wallace with tears coming down his eyes, which is like another one of those reasons. Like, why not just fucking murk him, bro?
All right, like I would. If I was in that enclosure, I'd find a way to kill myself, like, right away. A fucking big gulp, I'd stab my throat with the fucking straw. I don't care, It's just, there's no reason to want to live after that,
Yeah.
Especially in a zoo. I went to the zoo the other day, and almost every fucking animal that we seen looked depressed as fuck.
Well, yeah, bro, they're all drugged.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. And, like, it's funny because the polar bears are like a big attraction there. Right when you walk in, they're fucking there. But every time I've gone in the past 5 years, I've been probably like 3 times. And every single time, they're just pacing. Like a total of probably 10 feet back and forth. Just pacing. Waiting to fucking go.
Last time I went, the motherfucker was trying to break the glass.
Nuh-uh.
It would like swim under bottom and just fucking kick its feet trying to break the glass.
See, that'd be a little cooler to see, Yeah. I don't want to see him fucking pace.
But no, so this movie in general, man, I really like it. But I can objectively see that it is slow.
Yeah.
And it does drag at some points.
Yeah. You definitely got to be a movie buff to kind of watch it.
You definitely have to be in a good mood to watch it. Because I feel like if you're looking for something that's going to like...
uplift you.
Yeah.
Or
well, no, just
make
like...
you laugh.
It can, like, you can kind of zone out on some of the monologues.
Yeah.
And I feel like you got to really be trying to pay attention for some of this.
Yeah. And see, like, with the longest monologue you said, the Johnny Depp one, that whole time I was so in tune with it because I was just like, is that this motherfucker Johnny Depp?
This is important.
I was like, this is either Johnny Depp or that one dude from all the Adam Sandler movies.
Steve Buscemi?
Was he one of the gay ones in Big Daddy?
No, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, one of his gay friends in Big
Grandma's
Daddy.
Boy?
Yeah, him. I thought it was him with prosthetic nose and stuff, because they kind of had similarities. So in my head, I was kind of like going back and forth, like it's fucking Johnny Depp. It has to be, So
Did
that's
you watch
why
this by yourself or with your girl?
My girl was like in and out watching it because she was like, "This fucking disturbing,"
Yeah.
So yeah, I pretty much watched it by myself.
Right on, but I feel like that's Tusk in a nutshell. So we can go and jump on from that
for sure.
What was I gonna say, bro? So I've been
Justin Long deserved every single thing he had going to him on that.
Oh, bro, Justin Long was the fucking goat for this.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like his character, he was fucking asshole, So he kind of deserved everything he got. He set himself up for that. It was the irony in all of it was like beautiful.
Yeah, that was definitely karma.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, I was gonna say, bro, the next time I have you do one of these, I've been kind of like, I was like, all right, either I'm gonna have him do something kind of silly, or just like fucked up.
Yeah.
Next one, bro, you're definitely getting something just terrifying.
Jeez. Not Human Centipede. I won't do it.
No, not gross, but something legitimately that like scares me.
Okay, yeah, I want to because I'm a person who doesn't fuck with scary movies that terrify me. Like if I'm actually like, oh fuck that, like I put a pillow in front of my face still to this day, just to right when you like in scary movies you hear the music just like slowly getting softer and softer, and then just cuts dead silence. That's when I'm like, put the pillow in front of my face, and then I'll hear like or something, and then I'll fucking bring it out and look. But
that's everybody, dude. Like I turn my head a little bit. Like I kind of like prepare myself. Like it's almost like you're gonna get hit. Like it's a punch, so you're bracing for fucking impact.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of movies nowadays that like do that for me. So, but like I said, the next time you do one of these, I'm definitely gonna. It's not gonna be because I was thinking either Cabin in the Woods, this or some shit.
We need to do one of a scary movie that's gonna be coming out.
So that's what everybody keeps telling me, bro, and I think I want to do that.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying like my next one I do with you, I want to do it on a brand new movie. So like I think Conjuring 3 is coming out this year, and they're bringing back Valak, the nun.
The nun.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I want to do that one because the nun scared the fuck out of me in the Conjuring movies.
All right, so unpopular opinion.
Okay.
I went to see the Nun at the movies.
I didn't watch that movie though.
You haven't seen the Nun?
Yeah, like isn't that based on her?
Yeah, it's the same universe as The Conjuring and Annabelle.
Yeah, so I didn't. That's how much I'm scared of her though. Like, I didn't want to watch that shit. I watched The Conjuring because she's
you've
like
literally just seen the images and you're like, nope.
Yeah, like what was it, Conjuring 2 when she was looking at the painting of her and then she just fucking like came out of it.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck that. Like I'm not change it, mom. Like yeah, it's fucking terrible.
But no, so yeah, okay, so I won't jump into that. But fucking yeah, we could do that. Something newer.
Yeah. Because like most of the old scary movies I've watched or seen bits of it, but I think my next one I do with you, I want to do something that's fresh,
something brand new.
Yeah, I want to spoil the fuck out of it for people,
Hell yeah, that's what I like. People keep telling me like I should do like every now and then a newer movie, kind of like to promote the movie that's coming out and shit.
Yeah. And that's gonna be good for fucking views and shit because you're gonna be doing something that's fresh on people's mind,
True that. I don't know. It's a weird time for movies though, with fucking COVID and shit. They're not pushing a lot of stuff.
That's why I'm hoping by at least the summer there should be a couple good movies coming out.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I recommend everybody go see Nobody with fucking I think his name's Bob Odenkirk, the one from
Odenkirk.
Yeah, everybody calls Saul and Breaking Bad. He's a fucking hell of an actor, but he got like his big role of him being a badass in this movie. So I definitely recommend everybody.
Have you seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Fucking fire.
Fire. Everybody calls Saul's all right. It's not as dope as Breaking Bad.
I saw some of the first season and I just got kind of bored.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot slower than Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm. I remember my dad watching Breaking Bad religiously, and I was like, I think I saw 1 or 2 episodes, and I was like, okay, I'll start this from the top. Fire.
Yeah.
Motherfucker it's one of the, when people talk about like perfect shows and like how it ends and stuff, that's definitely up there. It's up there with like Sopranos.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those shows that you can watch repeatedly. You know, like I've seen the whole thing probably 3 times. So it's like, it just doesn't get old. And like, what shit's coming, but it's just like, it's still fucking cool to watch,
It's really, it's just a great story, man. Like everything that happens you don't expect, but it's all well done. Nothing's like too out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, very realistic shit. Except the laundering, I feel like that people catch on a little faster than they did.
Just a wee bit.
Yeah.
But no. Also, we wanted to talk about fucking Godzilla and King Kong, bro.
Yep. Now, before you watched the movie, whose corner was you in?
Godzilla.
Okay. See, I was in King Kong. Just because I like King Kong. Gorilla, fucking king of the jungle. So,
but who did you think was going to win?
I honestly thought King Kong was going to win. He has fucking thumbs,
He has thumbs, bro, but Godzilla melted New York in the last movie.
Right, yeah.
Like, just by standing in it.
What was it? I only watched the last Godzilla movie, the one where he was fighting
Ghidorah?
The 3-headed dragon.
Yeah, remember how that ended, bro, when he melted New York and that dragon?
See, no, I don't remember that specifically. So,
yeah, because they like juiced his ass up with radiation, and he's just walking through the city like disintegrating buildings.
Yeah, I didn't fucking even realize that.
Yeah.
Probably looked away at that point.
I was fairly confident though. I was like, Godzilla's gonna hand him that fucking L.
Yeah, and then what? In the movie, not giving any big spoiler or anything, but the fucking the lady who was watching King Kong, like pretty much
His handler.
Yeah, she was like, Kong backs down to nobody, and I was like, damn right, you know, like that's when I was like, yeah, he's not gonna lose.
So, me, dude, I was so gassed up for this movie, bro, that I watched the motherfucker at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Damn.
With some nachos. I had like a big ass bag of Tostitos chips and like a little bowl of fucking nacho cheese that I pulled out of my fucking pantry.
He was trying to get the full movie experience.
Bro, I got off of work at 4 o'clock in the morning and I knew I had to take my daughter to school at 8. So I was like, I got 3 hours to kill. Let's fucking get it.
Did it meet all your expectations?
No. What I was looking forward to, what I enjoyed most about Godzilla, King of All Monsters, and Kong Skull Island was the variety of the Titans.
Yeah.
And in this movie, there wasn't a lot of variety. It's just Godzilla, Kong, and then they introduce 2 characters, 2 Titans, and I was just underwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
I feel like a movie that big, there should have been more fucking...
See, and I'm on the other side of that. I'm glad that they kept it between the 2 main characters, you know? So, like... What I loved was, it's not giving away anything, in the beginning, in the fucking intro video, how they're like showing like the King Kong Godzilla's history of who Titans they fought and stuff. I loved how they did it bracket style.
Like NCAA type shit?
Right, yeah. So I was like, this is like legit boxing tournament, you know? Like, because that's how they played it. It was like versus, you know? So I liked how they were like, yeah, King Kong took out this whole fucking side, Godzilla took out this whole side. Now let's see who's the fucking king of the Titans, you know?
But for the most part, bro, I feel like this was more of a King Kong movie than a Godzilla movie because Godzilla's in the movie for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, total. But hey, Godzilla has like fucking 10 movies, so he's got his justice. People know Godzilla, you know.
That's true, but more or less, Godzilla is a background character in this movie.
Yeah.
It's mostly Kong's story. I feel like
for sure, because that's one thing I did like. They showed the more humane side of Kong, you know. So like he was more of like he's more humanized, I guess you could say.
So I was thinking about this, right? Have you seen I don't know if you have, the new Tom and Jerry movie that's on HBO?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think of that? I'm going to go back to Kong, but I'm going to just vaguely.
I don't know. I think it's super hard to do these live action with the animation because it's like you have to get it perfect. And I feel like they were too animated. Like, I think fucking Sonic... They got it perfect.
So you think they should have been more CGI than cartoon?
Yeah, for sure. I think that would have made it look a little. I think it would have been more enjoyable.
And you see, that didn't bother me so much. More so, it's the story around the characters.
Yeah,
like that all felt corny to me. Like the whole hotel aspect. Like I love that actress Chloe Grace Moretz. I like everything she does, but I just didn't feel like it was it. You know, it felt real.
Well, I feel like they catered more to children today rather than the children that grew up with Tom and Jerry.
Right. And that's the same problem that I had with King Kong and Godzilla. Like, there wasn't a lot of story there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, think about, like, the people characters and their story around Godzilla and Kong.
The one thing that I thought was more relatable is they... talked about conspiracy shit.
The conspiracy podcast guy, bro?
Yeah. And I was like, that's pretty badass. Because, like, I listened to a fucking conspiracy podcast, or I used to a lot when I was fucking working, but it was called Tinfoil Hat. And it was just, like, a fucking guy talking about a bunch of conspiracies.
I'm subscribed.
Yeah.
Sam Tripoli's my guy, bro.
Fuck yeah. But I think that was a cool thing that they brought into, like, the modern times and Hollow Earth. Because I think that shit's real, too. It's just real too.
I like all of that, and you're right. Narratively, that all works, but just in terms of the story, like how necessary was that plot point with the chick from Stranger Things and that guy? Like you could have took it out, and how much would it have affected the story?
Yeah, I don't know. One thing that I was confused about was that Stranger Things chick, her dad.
Yeah.
He was in the King Kong with Jack Black.
Yeah.
He was the like
He was
actor.
one of the explorers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was cool how they reused him for this, you know, kind of paying homage to the older King Kongs. Yeah, so I think that was kind of how they had to make it necessary to use that character's daughter, because they didn't want to make him completely irrelevant character in the movie. You know?
Yeah,
Because he was pretty irrelevant in the whole.
He was literally a background character.
Yeah. So.
And even besides that, I mean, I kind of get the one thing that it did do that I enjoyed was, like you said, the part where Kong got humanized by his handler and that lady and the daughter.
Yeah.
But so I think we've been on Godzilla and Kong a lot, but pretty much I'm about a 3 on it. Like, I didn't hate it, I didn't love it.
3 out of 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say 5, just because I think that was a good movie to have came out after so long of having no movies. You know, because this fucking pandemic and shit. So yeah. I think that was a good start to the next line of movies that are coming out.
Yeah, dude, it's been a cool 2-month stretch with Justice League, then this, and now Mortal Kombat's coming out in a couple of weeks.
See, I'm not a fan of Mortal Kombat, the video game. I'm more, just because I like the superhero shit, I'm more of the Injustice, you know? I like that shit better. So anytime those 1v1 player fighting things came out, I'd always go to Injustice rather than Mortal Kombat.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So I think if they would have made a twist and did like the DC universe doing that shit, that'd have been a lot more badass.
Bro, they've done so much shit with that. Didn't they do like a Mortal Kombat versus like fucking Street Fighter and stuff?
I think so. Yeah.
I love all those crossovers, man. Like, I like when Nintendo did a crossover with like the Final Fantasy characters and shit.
Nah, I don't remember that.
They're like pretty much just anime characters fighting Super Mario and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But no. So the big thing with Tusk is they have some points that are revisionist history. And I remember you talking about your favorite school subjects was history. I also, fuck with that. So I was wondering, what about it do you fuck with?
With the Kong?
No, just in general. Like, I remember you talked about on one of your podcasts that you like
that I fucked with history
in general. Like, what does that come from?
As part of it comes from my love for conspiracy shit. You know, because like every conspiracy, it takes you back to like the origin start point of it, and like from like the JFK shit. That's way back in the 1960s, early 1960s, late 50s. And it's like talking about how like the CIA was all involved, and then the fucking mob, and then the fucking Cubans, and like, so like that type of history is cool. And then it even goes back to like the World War I, how it started. Our history books tell us one thing, but there's conspiracies that say another thing. And then it's also like one thing that I fuck with history is the winner always it's like the winner
dictates the story.
Exactly. So we could be getting our whole history book that we learned from school could be completely fucking all scrambled,
That's such like a mind fuck, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why I like it a lot, because we don't know, but if we kind of learn it's like history repeats itself. I do believe that. So, like, if we learn from the past, like, how things have worked, how it's happened, and then we kind of piece together similar things that are going on today. So, like, the news was always comparing the Spanish flu to what's going on today. And, like, if you go look at, like, the history of it, it was like the Spanish flu. There was a lot of people that were like masking up back then too, or wearing fucking full on gas mask,
Yeah.
And it's like it's weird that was in the 1920s, and 100 years later, here we are doing the same shit,
Yeah.
So,
and people forget.
People fucking forget. but they don't care. Like if you tell like people listening, they're gonna be like, oh, that's fucking weird thing about, and they're just gonna go on to the next thing. That's one thing I want to talk about. Okay, so I know it's kind of like off topic, but I don't know if it could just be me. I'm 100% sure not everybody's like this, but I feel like we're constantly consuming shit now. Like in this day and age, if it's not our phone, it's the TV.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not the TV, it's fucking podcasts or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Or commercials or stupid shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like, what do you think we'll ever get away from that, or do you think it'll get worse?
Nah, dude, Pandora's box has been opened. We have the access. The internet's really specifically what did it.
Yeah.
So the need for a library, the need to nothing, everything came too easy. Everything is still coming too easy. You have any questions, we know the answer, bro. We're all essentially the smartest people who ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at any time in, like, human history, you go back fucking 50, hell, bro, you go back 30 years, we'd be the smartest fucking guy in the world as long as we had our phone in our pockets.
Yeah. That's
and
true.
that's, like I said, it's Pandora's box, man. It's been opened. People are so accustomed to living life this way now. Like, for example, have you ever been at a doctor's office and not looked at your phone?
It's impossible not to, because like fuck, you're gonna stare at the wall and look at the
You look like a
pamphlets,
serial killer,
right?
bro.
Yeah.
And that's like a complex I have. But yeah, just for like, you have to, even if you're not looking at anything, you have to have it in your hand and pretend like you're doing something with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's people look at you, bro, like you're insane.
And like for the people listening to podcasts, like we listen to other podcasts too. That's when we're consuming.
Mm-hmm.
But with us doing our own podcast, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air, because that's the one moment at least in my day, where I put the phone down and I'm literally talking to someone.
That is
face
weird.
to face.
I never thought about that, bro.
So like that's why I enjoy it, because I could talk to I like talking to my sister and my cousin face to face, you know, and it's like that's the one time where I'm not consuming and I'm more talking, like getting that human experience, you know, because
So you're producing.
Yeah, everybody else is, or not everybody else, but like people in general, we're sucked into our phone all day.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not the phone, it's fucking TV. If it's not TV, it's laptop. You know, it's like a fucking endless chain of just stuff.
I think a lot of it, though, bro, like that can be a good thing depending on the media that you are consuming.
Yeah.
Because there's positive things you could be taking in, but a lot of people aren't taking in, you know, positive stuff. Most of it's just junk.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're watching reality TV or some shit like that, or...
Yeah. Like, that's one thing nothing against people who watch these, but, like, my girl watches the vlogs of, like, families that are just, like, recording what they do every day, you know? And I'm like, it's kind of weird, you know? Because, like, they could be doing, like, the most simplest shit, like how I pour my Cheerios, you know? Like, and it's just like, is this entertaining, or, like...
I don't know what it is about those, bro. I've been kind of low-key getting stuck on those on my phone lately.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, you just find somebody and...
It's like you're getting entrapped in someone else's life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, is it good to consume this? Is it... Because there's pros and cons to it, I'm sure, you know? Because, like, there's pros you see, like... Never mind.
I really don't think there's any pros to it.
I can't think of any pros.
It's a distraction. That's it.
Yeah.
You're just getting distracted by somebody else's life.
And like it goes into another thing that like those distractions create false realities in your head. I guess like you think that this family is, you know, able to. They take their kids wherever they want, whenever they want, and like we are watching it, and like. In reality, like, you don't just up and do random shit like that. And, like, it shouldn't be a thing that should be normalized, I guess. You know?
I think the more hazardous part of that is the whole thing with couples now in relationships. Like, where you see these dudes, like, making these grand fucking gestures, bro,
right.
that, like, the everyday man probably is not going to be able to do as often as this fucking guy's doing.
Yeah, like, come around Valentine's Day, if I just give my girl some flowers and some chocolates maybe. And then she goes on fucking Kylie Jenner's Instagram and saw Travis Scott dumped 1,000 or 1,000,000 rose petals in her room. And I'm like, fuck.
This dude's done like a fucking Easter egg hunt that has like 1,000,000 Hershey's Kisses going like around the world that ends like with one in her asshole that he has to eat out. Like, it's just, how do we follow that up, bro?
Yeah, it's like it's setting standards. There's too many standards being set through these rich, famous people or just fucking influencers, I guess.
I mean, like, yeah, as much as, like you said, we don't want to badmouth what people are into. Everybody has their vices.
Yeah.
I have the dumbest one. I watch fucking reaction videos all fucking day.
See, that's where there's levels to it. So like those reaction videos, I feel like it's like, so I'm a guy who, if I'm watching a video that's funny and I've seen it 1,000,000 times and I still think it's funny and I want to show you, somebody. I'm like this. I'll grab my phone and I'll show you. I'll be like, look, watch. And then I'll fucking look at you. And I want to see your reaction because, like, I like seeing other people think that shit's funny or, like, seeing the joy, too. So, like, those reaction videos, I can see the...
So you kind of get, like, why. Because, like, I've mentioned before, like, that's why I like doing movie podcasts is I like putting people on movies because my favorite thing is even when my dad does, bro. When we go over, all he does is he puts on a movie. He's like, you're going to watch this. Yeah. And he more or less just wants to see, I guess, what you think of it. Yeah. And that's kind of how I am. So that's why I watch reaction videos religiously. Yeah.
So, like, there, you could see the fucking...
The point of it.
Yeah, the point of it, you know? But with these fucking certain vlogs, like, there's a fucking... one of the biggest vloggers, fucking David Dobrik.
I've heard of him, I've never seen him.
Yeah, so his videos they're like more for entertaining purposes. They're really scripted. But like these other ones that people watch are more of like just day-to-day shit, you know?
Like couples,
day-to-day shit, family stuff. And like, sure, it's cool, you know, I guess, for some people.
You think you could ever do shit like that?
No, I tried doing a vlog. But I tried to copy off that David Dobrik's dude. So like the very first one, it was like I did like a short montage of taking my dogs to the park and shit with the Cardi B song in the background, stupid shit. And then I had a montage of me shooting everybody in my family with a paintball gun, and like then I showed like a montage of everybody's bruises. Like it was like really weird shit, and it was just trying to be like a vlogger, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I don't know.
This is kind of off subject, but I was thinking about this. Do you ever, like, struggle to, like... So, we do podcasts, right? Mm-hmm. Do you ever, like, feel like you're making YouTube videos more than podcasts sometimes?
Yeah, I think for me and our podcast, it's like... I look at it from a production point of view, so it's like I can make money off the YouTube eventually. Yes. So I want people to be attracted to that the most.
So the video takes precedence to the audio to you.
Yeah. So like if like the people that follow us on Facebook and stuff, No Solutions Podcast, by the way. Right. People that follow us, they see me share the YouTube video link only, and I'll say like it's streaming on everything else too, but I don't really care if they go and watch or listen to it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you know? Like, I'd prefer them to go and waste their battery on the YouTube.
Right. Well, the video's the hook.
Yeah.
That's what's going to, like, pull in, like, the new viewer. And that's kind of why, evidently, I give a fuck. That's why, you know. Yeah. If I didn't, bro, it wouldn't be like this.
Yeah, because I feel like both of us, we're small podcasts, but we're working towards that goal for this to eventually be our career, you know?
I feel like we're definitely ahead of most starter podcasts by far. You in particular, bro.
Yeah, no, but like it's crazy because like we were talking about a couple podcasts before this, and some people just don't put in the effort, you know? Because it's less about they don't care much about luring people in. It's more of just putting content out there, I guess. So like for anybody else trying to start a podcast, from my own experience, I could tell you don't have to be that entertaining. Because like me myself, I'm a pretty dull person. That's why when I started my podcast, I was like, I have to have some comedy relief because I'm not a funny dude. So I was like, got to get my cousin Mark because he's just like quick wit humor. And then I also was like, who's going to come and listen to two dudes talk about bullshit? So I was like, got to have a female. And I was like, why don't I ask Mia? Because Mia she was a person before the podcast who was always coming to me and asking like, hey, how can we, make some money, or how can we, what type of business could we start or whatever, So she had that ambition to want to do something more than just her 9 to 5. So it was like a perfect storm for us.
So you always felt like she was down for the grind.
Yeah, for sure.
Bro, she's gotten a lot better, man.
Yeah, it's crazy the progress. Like I said, I'm doing that little promo video, and just watching us, like we're 44 episodes in, and from number 1 to now, it's like everybody's so lax now,
Yeah.
So I like it that we're able to be all like calm during it now, not so nervous. Like even the first time I came here, I was pretty nervous.
I know, man. I noticed.
Yeah, I know, right? And that, like, now, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I care less, but I'm more confident with just like being in front of the mic and camera than I was before.
It's definitely, because I remember, bro, you were definitely visibly
nervous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad you got new chairs because those chairs were throwing me off too. I was like, oh my god,
bro, don't blame my goddamn chairs. Nah, man, but yeah, like Mark was always fucking like he was always camera ready. I feel from the get go. He's been pretty comfortable on the mics and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
You've definitely got more. I've noticed that you're just speaking a lot more confidently and stuff.
Yeah.
And kind of same thing with Mia. Mia's interjecting a lot more than she was at the beginning.
Yeah, that's one thing with Mia, is if the topic we're talking about isn't in her wheelhouse, then she's less talkative. Yeah. And that's where like we're trying to like work with her to where like even if it's something that she doesn't know much about, we try to sway it to where she could interject, because she won't if it's something that she doesn't know about. Because like that's one thing that I admire about her, is she will not speak on something she doesn't know about. Whereas me, and even sometimes Mark, even if I don't know about it, I'll try to know about it. I'll try to talk about it still, Well,
I mean, we kind of have to.
Yeah, I know, right? So
and you just can't dead every conversation about something you don't like.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. Move on.
Yeah, but leads to me sounding very fucking stupid sometimes. So like, I'd much rather be quiet and let other people talk. Like me, I will if she doesn't, if she's not knowledgeable about the topic in front of us. But I don't know. It's definitely
well, that's when it falls on you as the host to be able to like frame the question specifically for her. Like, because even when I was on your guys' last time, man, I would notice, there were stretches where she didn't have much to say, and I would try to be like, so how do you feel about blah? Yeah,
I notice it. See, I notice everything when I'm editing, and that's one thing I hate. I have to rewatch every podcast, so like I have to go through the little shit, and it's just so tedious. That's the one part I dread about podcasting, is the editing. If I could just go talk and not have to do that extra shit, I'd fucking love it.
I've gotten like, I'm at the point now, like it's funny to like think about when I first started doing these, bro, and I didn't have video, so all I could do was hear the audio.
Yeah.
And bro, when I tell you the amount of editing was on God mode, dog, I'm talking about every single breath, every throat clear, every single part.
When you were doing just audio?
Yes, I would cut it all out.
Yeah.
And it was such a bitch, dude. It took 6 hours to do it, like a 2-hour podcast.
Man, there was only one person, I won't say the name, that I had to edit out every and it was just like terrible. I had it was 2 days of editing for that one.
Well, nah, man, it happens. Like, this shit isn't, it's not a walk-on thing. You definitely got to be a little bit prepared for it.
Yeah, for sure. Most of our guests that have came on just fucking show up, They're not really prepared. Most of them never done anything like this before. That's why I like having people like you, and then, like, we had one dude who he's like a speaker at schools, and so like having people like that are good at talking somewhat really help us, like me and Mia, out as a host, because then we don't have to like quarterback it so much.
Yeah,
just let it flow.
That's definitely a big thing, bro. Like if you're not comfortable speaking in general, like this is definitely gonna be a struggle for some people.
Yeah, and that was the one thing I lacked in the beginning, was the confidence. Like you said, like it was just I was never a confident speaker. I'm trying my hardest to be now, because like I'm trying to get into like the business world, and there's like a lot of networking shit that has to go on, so I have to be able to try to sound as professional and confident as possible, because no one's gonna want to work with a timid, like soft speaking kid, you know.
Yeah. Like I said, you've gotten more confident, but like whatchamacallit, I still feel like you could loosen up a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Like,
no,
you're
like I'm
definitely a
still
little
not
bit tight
100%.
sometimes,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
But I think that's just coming from
that helps out a lot. Yeah, and you know, the last podcast I did with you, I thought I would be more loose and less nervous if I smoked a J.
Yeah.
With me, I've realized that weed and podcasting does not go together for some people. I'm those some people, you know? It's because like my nerves mixed with the jitters, mixed with the high, mixed with all that other stuff, and when I smoke, I think like 10 times more than I need to about stupid shit, you know?
Yeah.
So that fucked me up for the last podcast for sure.
Nah, dude, I think it's if you were gonna be a guest, I think you can get away with it. Also, it depends what you're gonna talk about. But if you're gonna be the captain, you're gonna be the director, you definitely have to be organized up here.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you gotta be in control for the most part.
Yeah.
But
That's what, like, do you keep a structure on your laptop a little bit?
not anymore.
Not anymore.
But I do think about it obsessively. Like the day before, I kind of have a vague outline in my head. I'm like, okay, I want to hit these 5 points at some point. And that's why, like, what we've been talking about, like, literally I just stretch it out for like 10 minutes, and that's how it just works in my head.
Yeah. See, I need to start writing it down, because I have the worst short-term memory. So, like, what was yesterday?
I don't even know.
Tuesday,
I
Wednesday?
work nights, bro. Don't ask me.
Okay, exactly. Like
They all blend together.
Yeah, that's where I am right now, and like, could be from too much smoking, you know, fried my memory, but it's just like I probably need to start writing stuff down on paper and having it. Like I've watched some podcasts where they have literally their notes right in front of them, like bullet points. Make sure as long as they hit all of them, they feel like they got their shit done, you know. So I probably need to start doing that.
Shit, I'm the opposite, dude. Like I got so much fucking random shit in my head that I could easily make this go for like 4 fucking hours if I wanted to. But
Yeah.
I try to like, but my thing is what I'm thinking of. Unfortunately, the way my brain works, I think of clips.
Meaning,
Like clips I'm gonna make to push.
oh, okay. Yeah.
So like I always have these ideas in my head, like, all right, this is gonna be a clip when I bring this up or whatever. And I'm trying not to do that, bro, but I feel like I said, I gotta have hooks right now. I gotta have things that are catching.
See, that's the one thing you got one leg up on us, because we don't think about clips like that, you know? Like, so that's good that you do, because we need fucking clips. Like we could be so much bigger than we are if we had some clips. And it's like I go through a podcast and I'm like, some of it could, but then again, it's like, is that funny just to me, you know? So like that's why for our podcast, I can never find clips. But if I were to think like, hey, let's do this segment and make it a clip, that's probably what we need to do.
Yeah, you definitely got to have it planned out beforehand, like, or you just try to remember like a moment that made you laugh harder than something else or some shit, or where the energy was more up.
Have you thought about doing a scripted podcast?
Oh man,
because we thought about that. We were like, what if we did like a 30-minute podcast, just completely scripted, like every single thing scripted.
That'd be so
the
hard.
Jokes, yeah, everything. But it'd be the hardest for me to edit, because I would be like, all right, say your line, and then I'd be like, throw a laugh in there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, those can be done well, but I feel like at the end of the day, bro, it's gonna come down to what you can do kind of off the cuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, like it would clean it up more, but at the end of the day, like how are you gonna be able to do that consistently?
Yeah,
2 times a fucking week, bro. That's hard to do.
Hard
a 30-minute fucking script.
It would take me 2 weeks to write a script for one 30-minute segment, probably, and that'd be me working on it every day, you know.
And even me, bro, like my fucking brain is out there. I feel like I would have trouble writing like, and not having at least some of it come off kind of corny.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you know.
Yeah. And it's just like my sense of humor is so much different from other people's sense of humor, you know? So, like, what I think is funny is probably not funny to other people. And
that's where you're fucking up, bro.
Why?
You're worrying too much about what it's going to be received as.
Yeah. Like, I've heard people say that, like, don't worry about how it's going to be received. Just fucking do what you are wanting to do because, like, they'll say, like, oh, you're a creative dude. Just fucking do it. Don't worry about what people are going to think. And I'm like, yeah, but, I mean, I'm doing this podcast for other people, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, like, but if I went by that logic, dude, I could never, like, talk about assholes as much as I do.
Right.
Like, at this point, people are positive I'm gay.
Like, no, it's just
jokes
like,
I got that in with, like, an ass, bro.
It's just like you said some pretty off-the-cuff jokes on our podcast, and I'm just like, oh, God, like, my mom's going to hear this, you know? That was the first thing that we thought about in the beginning. I think we talked about it on our first or second podcast. Like, our parents are gonna watch this, so let's not be too graphic.
Let's not go too crass.
Yeah, but like my mom, she's been like, you need to quit cussing so much, or like my dad said the other day, he was like, man, one of my buddies at work, he watched the podcast, he really liked it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then he was like, he just said, you guys cuss too much. I was like, oh, no, we didn't. Don't lie. I was like, we don't cuss that much. So, like, don't get me wrong. We'll say one, like, every other sentence probably.
No, you guys are pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's just that I really do worry about what people are going to think about something. So, like, I cut a lot of shit out, especially with Mark.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that plenty of times. He says some pretty terrible fucking shit. And
don't say a lot of it because I'm cutting none of it.
Yeah, right. I'm not gonna say any of it. So it's that bad. Like where I'm like, we're not gonna get canceled. We're gonna get our fucking door kicked in.
Like it's got to be some really outrageous shit. Like for example, bro, the last podcast I did, I had to do my first like mental note where I was like, I didn't even say it, but I was like, oh, we can't keep this in.
Yeah,
because I'll repeat it. Unfortunately.
See, but won't that fuck you up in the editing if you don't say it out loud? Like, because if I see something needs to be cut, I'm like, I'll talk to myself through the camera. I'm like, Esai, you're editing? Cut this shit, you know?
No, listen, like, I know myself so well that if something makes me kind of, like, tense up, I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah.
You're going to remember this moment. Come back to this.
Yeah.
And what it was a conversation about cannibalism.
Mm.
And
are you gonna have to cut this out?
No.
Okay.
And the conversation was about cannibalism, and it was basically just a stretch that we took it too far to where like I was like, oh God, we can't keep this in. And I'll say it now because now out of context, maybe I'm probably still gonna end up cutting.
Yeah, right.
Nah, so it was like, would you eat human meat?
Circumstantially, yeah.
Like you tried if you're in a foreign country and it was.
Oh no! Like when you said that, first thing I thought about was apocalypse. You know, like it's all. That's all that's there.
This is like now.
This is like delicacy in some country.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, I wouldn't.
So if you're in like some jungle or some shit and they're like all just casually like, oh, this guy died, we're eating his meat as part of our religion.
I'd be like, yeah. You know, enjoy. You know, I'll stay over here. I'm go grab some fucking salad or something. I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Now, see, I asked to do this question. I'm definitely cutting this out. And
wait, why? Don't cut it out. This wasn't that.
So what happened was the dude out of nowhere, the guy's like, we're talking about it, and it's like my go-to bits because I've asked multiple people this exact question and shit. It's just something I do out of habit to get people's reactions. And the dude goes, if you had to choose between an old person or a baby, which one are you eating?
Old person.
Why?
Because I would just feel like the worst person in the world eating a baby who still has their whole life ahead of them.
Bro, do you not just feel like this conversation is just weird?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, this was off the cuff, like, just...
Yeah, but, hey, this podcast, you ask a question, I'm gonna answer
Right.
to the best of my ability. So, old person, they've lived their life. I'm sure they would want their body to go towards something. You know, why not feed a young starving child?
Okay, and that's fair. And like I said, but that's just like I feel like the conversation just got too dark. You know?
Yeah. Now, what would make it super dark is if they answered the baby right away without even thinking. That's what would make it dark.
That'd be fucking
but
dope.
if they thought about it and they're like, maybe the baby, man, an old person, maybe no meat, probably, you know.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. It's definitely a out there question, you know.
Yeah. But then again, I mean, to be fair, like I'm asking people right off flips, like, would you eat human meat? So I mean, it's like you're kind of asking for some type of, you know, one upper.
What do you mean one upper?
I'm talking in terms of like the response, because that was that guy's question. To me.
Yeah. What was his answer? The one you cut out.
No, that was just the part I cut out where he asked me if I would eat either an old person or a baby.
Yeah. Okay. So out of context, I could see why you'd cut that out.
Right.
But with you explaining on here,
So like how the conversation, which
Yeah.
is stupid now that I think about it, now that I'm saying it out loud, like I'm asking if you'd eat a person and then someone comes back with a question that's just as shocking and I'm like, no, it's too much now. Okay, I see the fucking, what's that word? The hypocrisy of my own.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, the captain makes mistakes, guys. It happens.
Yeah. But either way, both still pretty fucked up questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all right.
But
It's a
no, one of the
podcast.
last things I wanted to talk about was I was talking about history. What's your like favorite part and why? I can tell you mine if it gives you a second. to
Go
think.
ahead, yeah.
So I like the Nazi shit. World War II. That whole like to me that's like a giant fucking Avengers movie, bro. Just fucking
Kinda, yeah.
You got the Allied forces, you
Hydra.
got America, Britain, fucking I think Russia was on the team at that time. That was back when our glory days.
Yeah.
And we're going up against, you know, Germany, Japan, Italy. And it's just framed like a movie, bro.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
you know what I'm saying?
World
fighting-
War, yeah.
We got real villains, bro. We got James Bond fucking villains on the other side.
Yeah.
Like, it's all
Scientists and everything. Yeah.
evil scientists doing experiments, fucking with the occult.
Yeah. So since you like that part of history, what do you think about how they brought all the Nazi science? Well, they pretty much spread the Nazi scientists throughout the world,
Talking
but
about paperclip.
paperclip, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about all that? Because they was chilling in Alabama. They were just chilling.
I mean, obviously, you know what's fucked up is they all went on to do really great things for this country.
NASA, which
Disney.
I still don't think is that great.
Disney, NASA,
Yeah.
all that shit, bro.
See, but I wouldn't say Disney because he was just an enthusiast of that Nazi party, I guess. Like he admired them rather than look down upon them. Talking about Walt Disney.
Definitely influenced him.
Wasn't he a big influence with NASA?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm pretty sure he helped design with Werner von Braun the first space station in space. Like it was like.
That's how you know we both watched too much Tinfoil Hat, right?
No, this one I watched a documentary on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but Tinfoil Hat, they hit on some like real shit. So like that's why I enjoy them. They're pretty honest with everything, and they bring on people that supposedly know what they're talking about, and it all seems to add up. So
The only thing, bro, I don't like about Tinfoil Hat is that kind of turns into like a big circle jerk sometimes because there's nobody there that's like, all right, this kind of sounds like bullshit.
yeah
Nobody's
for sure.
objective. It's all pretty much like I'm all in.
Yeah, they had a producer in the beginning that he was like, yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And then they fucking kicked him out.
Like I remember they had on Flat Earth, bro, and the whole thing with Flat Earth that gets me is they gotta shit all over like normal science.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like about Flat Earth. To believe in Flat Earth, you got to pretty much say everything about science is bullshit. But
Well,
this
that's
is
the
right.
thing. I feel like everything with science, it's not bullshit, but it's not fact.
Yeah,
Like it's everything that scientists know today, but like there's discoveries that get made all the fucking time that could go against what our science today says, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like none of it is set in stone, and some of it, I feel like 90% of it is theory rather than fact.
yeah.
So when people question science like that, I don't I don't be like, oh, that's fucking stupid, because it's like I feel like we have to question it. Everything needs to be questioned to some extent.
You're
know?
right, to an extent. That's the word, though, to an extent. But to completely throw the book out.
Yeah, for sure. Like Gravity.
Gravity, bro. Like mapping and shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The flat Earth people make some good points.
Oh my God,
they do.
Are you coming out of the closet? No. You coming out of the closet of flat Earth?
No. I'm not a flat earther. I mean, like, I've seen a curve at a certain altitude, so I'm not like, oh, it's not flat. You know, it's probably a globe. But there's things that pop out, like when they show flight plans. And how, like, they kind of go off course to go fuel up rather than going straight over to fuel up to a different country or whatever. And then, like, what's another thing? The sun pattern. Like, how, like, sure, from a certain distance you can't see it. It goes, sets, whatever, rises. But it kind of does go in, like, a straight-ass line across the sky.
Yeah.
And, like, certain shit like that. There was one other one that I was thinking of right now. I fucking brain fart. I'm not a flat earther, though. I just want to put that
dude,
out.
Like, there's random facts that bother me about science, like, that I've heard on Tinfoil Hat exclusively. Is, like, the guy who discovered the Big Bang Theory. You know who that was?
He was a cardinal or something from
like,
the
he had
Vatican.
to do with the fucking...
religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very... Like, it's... I don't know why that bothers me.
I think that's one part of history that I don't know too much about, but I find it the most interesting is, like, the Roman Empire and, like, not the fall, but the separation of it, you know? So, like, I don't know. Because the Vatican, I feel like, is, it's like you learn certain shit, like how in a lot of foreign countries, like, I think Honduras, Philippines, different third world countries with Hispanic or whatever people, they were pretty much, like, forced into Catholicism at some point in their history. And that's why, like, Philippines, their culture is based off Catholicism and, like, a bunch of fear mongering and shit like that. So, like, I feel like they at the Vatican at some point just try to take over, like, the world, you know. And I feel like they did. It's very
so not just Catholicism, but like Christianity.
Not so well. Christian, specifically Catholicism, Roman Catholicism. Yeah. I'm telling you, the Roman Empire pretty much just fucking said a pretty much big fu to Jesus by using the cross as their symbol and shit, you know. And like that's what a lot of people don't think about is like. The Romans, they crucified thousands of people that same exact way before Jesus. So, like, I feel like that cross shouldn't be a symbol. I feel like the cross is more of a symbol of the Roman Empire rather than Jesus himself. Because I feel like he died for us. But people say he died on the cross for us. I feel like that's bullshit. He didn't die on a cross for us. He didn't fucking say, like, oh, I want that cross, you know? Like, that's going to be my monument forever. He just died for our sins or whatever, you know? So I feel like they threw in that cross as, like, a big FU, like, we won type stuff. Like, we took over, you know?
You know what I picture is, like, that the Romans were, like, they had, like, this table of guys. It was, like, old school corporate America, and they were, like, just floating out different symbols.
Yeah.
Like, all right, guys, what's going to catch?
Yeah.
Good branding.
There was their marketing team back then.
Yeah, there was a marketing team, bro. And they're like, do we use a star? Do we use the sun? And some guy was like, what about this lowercase t? Fuck yeah.
And which wasn't even a lowercase t at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. But across.
Yeah.
And it worked, bro.
They definitely, like, they profit billions off that shit.
Hey, you know what fucked me up is this white dude told me one time, he was like, if you're a Mexican and you see a tattoo anywhere on their body, he was like 99.9% of their time, there's going to be a cross somewhere on that motherfucker.
See, and now I feel like a hypocrite. because I got a cross on my arm.
I got a cross on my arm. Bro, everybody I know has a cross somewhere on their fucking body.
Yeah, and see, I got it my 18th birthday, and that was before I even thought about all this extra bullshit of history. I was just straight by the book history, you know? But, like, another thing that I thought was, like, pretty fucking fishy with that is the King James Version Bible.
Uh-huh.
It was translated from the Hebrew Bible. Hebrew Bible was translated from the Greek Bible, and probably so on. That's just as far as like history tells us, whatever. Now, the King James Version, there wasn't many people that could translate Hebrew to Latin. It's just like they didn't know the words for most of the shit in there. So King James had like 13 philosophers that translated it for him. So like he didn't really have anything to do with it. He was just the king, so they stamped his name on it. You know,
so they could have just made up most.
They could have made up a lot of shit. But like the Hebrew the Greek Bible, in the Genesis first book, it says God came down from heaven, or something along those lines of like God came down from heaven and filled the earth with blah 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 blah. Or no, God came down from heaven and made man in His own image. But in the Greek Bible, it translates and says that many gods came down from the heavens and created man in their own image.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's just like, is it monotheistic or polytheistic? You know. So, but I'll let you finish.
Would you ever like? I don't know, dude. You have kids now, so you're gonna be in for some weird fucking moments.
Yeah. Like I'm not baptizing my kid.
My daughter isn't baptized either.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna teach her, bro?
That's the thing. I'm a real learn from other people's mistakes or other people's successes type person. So like the ongoing thing with our parents was, I want to give you a good life. I want to give you all the things I never was able to have. Right? Where now I see that that's not the fucking right way to go. So now it's like, I want to teach you all the stuff that I was never taught. So like, from the moment that my daughter is able to comprehend shit well, I'm going to teach her about all the religions, not like in depth, because like I don't know like as far as they go, like how we know all the things that go on with Catholic churches and stuff. I don't know what they do in fucking Buddhist, what do you call those things where the monks are?
Monasteries.
Monastery, yeah. Like, I don't know everything that goes on. There's shit that you could look at that shows you, or like documentaries or whatever, but like I rather teach my daughter about every single religion that's out there, or at least the popular ones, like the popular 5.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, is I kind of want to just present my daughter with like all the information that I know without giving her a bias. That's really
exactly.
That's the big thing, is I'm trying not to be like, I'm just kind of telling her like, so this happened and that happened. This is why that's like that, I think. Yeah. And I'll make sure I tell her like, I think, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, all we could say is like, this is what like we have. This is the information that we have right now. Obviously, shit could change later, and like it's just I want to be able to sway her into a way of thinking that has her think, like not just accept shit for what it is or what people say it is. I want her to actually think for herself, kind of like I try to tell myself to, you know? I don't like taking shit for face value. So I want to be able to tell her to like fucking think shit through, do your research if you can, you know? If you don't really give a fuck, don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah. I feel like she's going to end up being a little not resentful towards me, but like he's crazy. You know, like, because I feel like I'm going to try my best to teach her a bunch of shit, But I don't want to cluster her with too much.
Yeah, that's what I was more getting at, is like there's so much like general education information, right?
Yeah.
Then there's some stuff that you feel like might be bullshit.
Yeah.
And how much are you like flooding? Like I'm dealing with that now.
Yeah.
Like say she's talking about, do I want to hit her with all the conspiracy stuff or the like they don't know for sure.
And I'm going to like if we were to do stuff like that with our kids, it's going to be, I feel like we have to take the approach of like, hey, we don't know if this is real. This is all theories based around the history of what's in your history book from school, you know? So, like, I would love it if my daughter was that person where in history class they're talking about, say World War II, and she brings up right away, like, so where did Hitler go? And they're like, what do you mean? He killed himself. And they're like, yeah, but the autopsy reports, you know, like say that wasn't really him and blah, blah, blah. So like.
But don't you think that like, so when you were a kid, there's a solid foundation. Like we think we had the world figured out because of what school taught us. Mm-hmm. Do you think it would be a good thing or a bad thing for it to be kind of more unsteady ground and kind of just building your own fucking truths?
I don't know.
Like, it's a big fucking question, bro.
Yeah, it's tough to kind of answer. It's just like, I don't know. It's like you're talking about as far as with our kids, right?
Yeah, and just general education. Like, it's kind of a good thing, bro, to be like in this box, at least at the start. Like, you want to have walls. You don't want there to be. You need that for your fucking brain to like, or I don't even know, dude.
So like, I guess I wouldn't want her to be so flooded with all this information to where she thinks like she knows it all. I'd want her to be like, still like, I don't know, but this is some shit I've heard, you know? So like, I'd want her to still be oblivious to a lot of shit and to not be a know-it-all, I guess you can say.
Yeah, what's fucked up is like it could go either way. It's like ideally you hope she's perfectly in the middle of like, but you never know. Like if you flood her with too much like question everything, she turns into Eddie Bravo.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nah, Dad. The Earth is flat. I promise you. We're gonna go to Antarctica someday. Yeah, you'll see.
Yeah, no, and that's another thing.
Like you want to push your kid too far down.
We want to make sure that our kids know what's out of the realm of possibility. You know
what I'm saying, bro? Like that's the far side of it.
Yeah, like there's definitely some tinkering that you have to do with all this before. Like I have plenty of time before my daughter's like aware of what's going on around her. You know?
Yeah.
Like I would say by the time she's 8 is when I could start talking to her about different history shit or. Like, cause like all the other stuff, like math and fucking science shit, like I don't want to have anything to do with
like,
that.
I have nothing to add. That's all fine.
Yeah, that's all fine to me. Like, if you want to learn that, like, she's gonna have to learn that shit. So like, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, that 4 in other countries it's backwards. You know, like,
right. Like that's little like, minuscule shit.
Yeah, exactly. But it would really just be with like history shit or government shit, like the government classes we took. Learn like I'd hope that I'm able to teach her about like everything, like Constitution, all that, because that's stuff that I never paid attention to, you know, and like that could be beneficial. Like she could end up being a fucking dope ass lawyer later, you know.
Shit, bro. So for me, bro, like remember, like for my daughter's birthday at the beginning of the year, I did this like interview style thing with her, and I like recorded a video with her sitting where you're at, and we're just talking about stuff, right?
Yeah.
I have this pipe dream, bro, that even if I don't blow up doing this shit, she sees me doing this stuff, and, you know, she decides to fucking pick up the mantle, bro. She pulls Dad's mics out of the fucking closet one day in, like, 10 years when she's, like, 16 or something. Yeah. And her and her friends have their own little fucking...
Isn't that crazy to think about, though? Like, our daughters are going to be watching, or your kids, or my daughter, whatever's going to be fucking watching our podcast later and, like...
This is another cool thing, bro. It's like a diary to our fucking kids. Like, I don't talk about my daughter a lot on this podcast, but I'm obviously at some point it's going to happen.
Yeah, now.
Yeah. Right at this moment, this is when it happened.
Yeah.
And, bro, like, I'd be so, like, I feel like I'm comfortable with what I'm putting out, so I'm cool with her seeing it.
Yeah. And later, like, when our kids are gonna mature, you know, like they're gonna be able to understand like dad talking about fucking assholes, you joking around, right? Like,
yeah, like they're gonna understand our personality.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like I feel like my dad, our relationship is very, until recently, like we got comfortable bullshitting with each other, like here in the past, like, what am I, 28? So past like 6 or 7 years since I turned 21, I feel like he got real comfortable with me just saying
stupid
wily shit to him.
Same with my dad.
But before that, you know, it was real like he goes to work, you taking out the trash, you still doing that or whatever. You know, it was a real formal relationship.
Yeah.
And I would love to have known what he was like, you know what I'm saying, pre like 28.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my dad, he's the same way. He didn't open up too much. Well, like he was pretty open, but he didn't like treat me like a man until I was like 20, 21, about the same age. Like he treated me less as a kid. Like just recently I've been feeling comfortable enough to like openly express myself with
so
cussing
you're like the
and
same
shit.
age I was and stuff.
Yeah, but like I wouldn't cuss in front of my parent. I still don't cuss in front of my mom just out of respect.
Yeah.
But my dad, I'll cuss. Like I don't care. But it's more of like an expressive cuss. I'm not just like that's fucking bullshit. You know? Like
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, oh, he's a bitch. You know? Not telling my dad. I'm not saying I told my dad that. I'm saying like if we're talking about LeBron, I'm like, yeah, LeBron's a bitch now. You know? But I don't know. It's different with everybody's parents. It's crazy because I'm a really observative person, and it's nuts seeing the different relationships. Like we have so many aunts and uncles that like seeing the different relationships with them and their kids and comparing all of them around. It's like a spectrum, like crazy. Like it's so many different possibilities of the relationship you can have with your kids, you know?
Yeah.
So
fucking, but imagine like if your dad had like some way to like some medium to express himself, and you just hear these stories about like, I don't know, different like random, this is weird to say, like imagine him just talking about like sex stories or some shit or something crazy like that before.
Cringy shit with dad.
just like crazy stories that he had like in high school or something. Like I would like to hear that stuff just to give context to like the person that, you know, my dad is.
Yeah. Like my dad, I'll tell you one story that he's told me, but he kind of had to tell me. He's told me a bunch of shit that he's doing, stupid shit he's doing when he's a kid, but apparently, so we were at a bar and this crazy old dude, bald dude, came up and he was like, "Oh, Leo, I don't want no problems." And my dad was just like, "Oh, quit playing, whatever." And then he was like, "Your dad was a bad man back in the day," and I thought he was like, "It's a cool dude," you know. No, when he was a kid, he was an asshole. Apparently, he was like, "Yeah, I was outside playing basketball in front of my house with my cousins, and your dad just came by, and he was like, 'Oh, let me see the ball,' and then he just punted it over my house, and I couldn't find it." And he said, "Just walked away." I was like, "Oh, so my dad was an asshole back in the day." Yeah, but it's crazy because like hearing that, it's like my dad. He knows it. He was a dick when he was a kid. He was bad. He was a mean kid, you know? But it's crazy because now I get to see where he came from, or a little bit of it. And now he's like a super caring and loving dude, like real community bound. Like, so he's like, he flipped from a complete asshole of a kid to some point he matured up and was like, "Hey, I should start treating people better," you know?
So you've seen him in like his, hopefully not final form, obviously, but you've seen him in like his more like fucking process. Yeah.
But it's cool because like my dad, there was no videos like this from when our parents were kids, you know? Like we can't see how their personality really was. So when you hear little stories like that, you're like, "Oh, okay. My dad was an asshole." Okay.
Bro, fun fact about my dad is, I guess back in the day in like the late 80s, early 90s, he won a fucking Street Fighter competition on the fucking arcade machine.
For real?
So he used to like just enter fucking random competitions like at Indian Springs and shit. And he
hella
would just
old
fucking,
Yeah.
And he worked at an arcade, I guess, when he met my mom or something. So like he's always been into like pop culture stuff.
Yeah. Like
So-
just fucking gaming and movies and all type of shit. Yeah.
So like it's always cool just to see like, okay, I could see myself being something similar to that.
Yeah, like you see a little bit of yourself in him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's always dope.
But shit, bro, we're about 2 hours in.
Really?
Yeah.
Thought we were like hour and a half maybe.
No. So we
Shit
hit
flies.
a whole bunch of shit in there.
Yeah, a bunch.
That's pretty fun, man.
Yeah. So I like podcasts, dude. And I don't see you much ever. You know, like we got our own lives. We're all adults, kind of. You know, not me so much, but yeah.
I know that's definitely like crazy. It's still crazy to me that I'm seeing you and Nick as much as I am.
Right. Yeah.
It's weird, bro. Because like I said, there's like a 20-year gap or something. Not 20, but
No,
like 15 years.
Yeah. No, less than that.
I feel
I was
like
definitely I was definitely like 10 when you moved out by us.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So
Well, since high school now, because 14 years, bro. Because when I was like 12, that's when I went to middle school. So I'm 28 now, bro. So yeah, that's about 15.
oh shit.
It's been
It's
a fucking
fucking wild.
minute, bro.
Yeah. But it's cool now, you know, because like we're all adults, so like we could have, put it this way, when we were kids, we couldn't bond over certain shit that we can now. You know? And like with us having a podcast, both of us, like that's the biggest bond we have right now, you know?
Yeah.
But it's fun because like we get to talk to each other, catch up and bullshit. Like
We got all the stories from in between.
yeah. And it's like it's kind of like if we never stopped, you know, like never stopped talking and hanging out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, man, you want to go ahead and plug your stuff?
yep, you can catch No Solutions podcast with me, my sister Mia, and my cousin Mark every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. on YouTube and all streaming platforms. You could also find us on Facebook and Instagram at No Solutions Podcast. And that's it.
How do you get the motherfucker up right at 8 a.m.?
I schedule it
Oh, so you upload it like a
At
couple
night.
hours or the day before?
the night before. I always do it.
Okay, I gotta
Yeah.
do that, bro. Because
Yeah.
I like, my shit uploads at the most random times ever, bro.
Yeah.
It'll be like,
I'm trying to be like a professional TV show every 8 a.m.
fuck, nah, dude. Mine goes up either at 4 a.m. or 8 p.m. Just
Yeah.
whenever the fuck it goes up.
I figured 8 a.m. was the perfect time because most people get into work that time, you know, and they can put their headphones in and do the job.
Yeah. But also, guys, you can check out this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, all the streaming platforms, Apple Music. You said it's on Apple Music, right? Because I don't have a fucking
Apple
iPhone.
Podcast.
Apple Podcast.
Yeah, it's free. Free on Apple Podcasts if you got an iPhone.
Okay, because I still have no way to check that, so I'm just going completely on like your fucking
Yeah.
word. Every time I say it, I'm like, I hope he wasn't fucking around.
Yeah.
But once again, Esai, thank you for being here, guys. Go check out No Solutions Podcast. This has been the Death Taco Podcast.